Hi everybody, it's Honest John, and there's been so much to talk about since the election that I haven't gotten around to talking about my favorite subject, weed. Three states, three states voted to legalize it, and two of them approved it for recreational use. That's a beautiful thing. You know, bullshit. You know, weed is fun. Let's do it. Right. Now, I have legitimate medical problems that weed helps. Got a bad stomach. When I was in my 20s, my doctor told me I was going to have an ulcer in 5 years. I never got that ulcer. You know? Boy, but it was terrible. I was nauseous almost all the time. You know, just walking around feeling a little bit nauseous, and then that would go to being feeling a lot nauseous. And I'd take these antibiotics, not antacids, and they'd help for 20 minutes, so I was basically chewing on them like candy. Started smoking weed, and let me tell you, I have had this carrying around in my pocket, 12 pack, Tom's Smoothies. I've had it for over 2 months. Still got 4 left. And I get back pain too. I have a terrible back, right? But instead of taking like Percocet or Darvon, I smoke a little bit of weed, take a couple of aspirin. Pain doesn't completely go away, but it's manageable. So I can live with that. But I'll tell you something, honest truth, even if there wasn't anything wrong with me, I'd still smoke. Makes me feel good. That's the bottom line right there. I've never done a commercial for anything, but I would do a commercial for weed. You know, and doctors are always talking about preventive medicine. Weed is preventive medicine. If I get glaucoma, it'll be a fucking miracle. So it pisses me off that marijuana on the is classified as a Schedule 1 drug. I mean, that's where heroin is. That's where that's where crack cocaine uh, and LSD and all these opiates and their derivatives and uppers and downers. That's where they are. And then there's weed, right? And there's weed with all those drugs. And here's the thing: government is breaking its own rules by keeping weed on that list. All right. The rules are, first, it has to have a high potential for abuse. Now, they don't exactly define what that is, but it seems to me that weed's potential for abuse is about the same as cigarettes and alcohol and these energy drinks. And they're all sold over the counter. As far as addiction goes, hey, look, I've been smoking weed for a long time. I should be addicted by now. But a couple of times a year, I leave the country. And when I do, I'm not stupid enough to take weed with me to a foreign land, so I leave it behind. Now, if weed were addictive, what should be happening is somewhere across the ocean, I should be climbing the walls and screaming, acting like William Shatner in that Twilight Zone episode. Some of you older folks will get that. But you know what? Nothing happens. I eat the meal, I watch a movie, take a nap. Nothing happens. No addiction. The second reason for being on that classification is it says it must have no approved medical purpose. Well, we already went over that. And there's more than just what I got. You know, weed has a lot of different uses. that are good, beneficial. Sometimes people going through therapy for cancer, they have a problem with nausea, so they smoke weed and they can eat, which being able to eat helps you get better faster. And third, it uh, has to be reasonably safe. Uh, well, I don't know whether you can OD on weed, but you'd have to smoke a joint about the size of a giant sequoia. Have to eat a brownie about the size of a Buick. I don't think that's likely to happen. I mean, people OD on alcohol every day. We've had people die from these energy drinks. But weed's on the one that's on the list. It's crazy. So it's time for the Obama administration to step up. Barack, let me talk to you a second. Mr. President, you've made history. Just by being elected, you made history. And you've done other things that have been historical, too. Here's another chance to make history. And I'll tell you something. It'll save as much money as your health plan does. Thanks for listening.